Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Dr. Longwell. I prefer to go by Profe Jeff. Just prepping this intro video for you to our course this semester called Spanish 365V, Culture and Civilization of Latin America, or Spanish-speaking Americas. This is one of my favorite subjects. I love talking about the different languages and cultures that live in all of these countries that we'll be exploring. I think you'll really enjoy the format of the course that we'll get into in a minute. But as with all courses, just make sure and cover all of the information here on our homepage, including the syllabus and the schedule. In a second, we'll get to the Get Starting module. Just make sure and check out the information here on my preferred form of contact. That would be anything regarding this course. Please send me an email through Canvas. If we need to schedule a Zoom visit, I'm always happy to do that. We can set that up. Just keep in mind that as you message me, I don't live 24 hours a day online. So if you send messages late at night, I probably won't respond until the next day, but I try to respond within 24 to 48 hours. Weekends, obviously, probably not as much, but my belief is always that communication is best, so send me any questions you might have about the course. If we need to schedule a Zoom visit, like I said, I'm happy to do that. Okay, so once you've finished viewing this intro video, go ahead and get started by clicking on the Getting Started module section, and it will take you to the description and our course objectives. Just go ahead and click through all the different things there, information on the course, about me, and that will take you to the introduction discussion. If at ever you have a question about what's coming next, obviously the best place to go would be our modules. And there you can see that we've got everything step by step. Just wanted to go to the intro to discussion real quick. This is an intro or discussion that will help us just get to know each other a little bit more. I'm asking you to just share a bit about yourself and maybe any connection you might have or would like to have with Latin America, and particularly since Latin America is a big place and there are many countries that we actually won't talk about because we're going to focus on the Spanish-speaking countries. So you'll want to share things as the instructions explain here. I always, whenever I have a discussion board in my classes, I always provide an example post, so that gives you an idea of my expectations. So just check out the example posts there. Okay, maybe real quick we can do a little bit on the course syllabus. Just so you remember, this is an 8-week course. It's an asynchronous course. We don't have any programmed live meetings that will be required. Go through and read all of the usual stuff in the syllabus that are required by the school. Once you get down to the course components, take your time to look over each of the individual components. I'll cover them briefly here. They don't necessarily come in the order that they are on the calendar, but since the idea is to get to know Latin America, and many of you males already have family or friends from different parts of Latin America, the idea here is to get to know a little bit about all of it, not just one particular country. So we will have a weekly discussion which will help us get to know a little bit about what's going on in Latin America. And this is something that you'll research on your own. I'll send out via the announcements some possible suggestions for places to go to find information. But essentially, since the internet is out there, I'd like you to explore things that interest you. So on a weekly basis, and the only requirement that I have is it be something different from different places each week. And so there will be one discussion forum each week on what's going on in Latin America. You can see my example post there. If you want to include links and things like that, that's perfect. So just make sure and follow the instructions there. I'll post an announcement with a video more detailing on that. We're going to have 2 projects. Those will be explained near the end, but again, you'll be able to pick what you'd like to work on then, and there's a huge variety of the projects that we have. We will have quizzes. Most of those quizzes are right at the start. You're going to have a quiz on countries and capitals, because it's important for us to understand the places we're talking about. And then we're going to have another quiz on some of the key concepts that we're trying to learn. One thing you need to remember about quizzes in my class, at least in this class, is that they're all open book, open notes, open neighbor, and you have unlimited attempts. The goal is to get 100% on all the quizzes. That way I know that you've got the concepts down that we're trying to do. Okay, besides the weekly discussion on this week in Latin America, one of the most exciting parts that I like about this course is what I call a cultural learning log, and you're going to do a couple of those per module once we get into the second module in our course, and that's the cultural learning logs. And we're going to base these cultural learning logs on I've produced some podcasts that we'll see once I'll do a video on just the cultural learning log itself, but you'll see that there are options for you to participate in listening to podcasts, viewing podcasts, and maybe exploring things on your own as well. But the idea is for you to have some connection with the culture. Again, we're trying to visit as many different countries as possible, not focusing on any one. Okay, participation is important. It's not just a place to hang out. I just want you to be a part of the course, building our community. So that explains a little bit about that. The participation grade is subjective. At the end of the course, I will evaluate that. And I know I left a final exam in there, but just so I can announce it from the start, there is no final exam. Okay? I prefer that you focus on the day-to-day regular activities and projects that we do throughout the semester. All right? So, like I mentioned before, any questions, go to the modules. We'll jump back there in a second. Another important aspect is I will be sending out announcements regularly for the course, so please go to the settings for your announcements, and if you haven't done so already for Canvas, select that you be notified immediately for whenever there's an announcement that's posted. Whenever I do post an announcement, the most recent 2 or 3 will always appear at the top of the homepage. Okay? All right, well, I think that's it for now. Make sure and let me know if you have any questions. Look forward to working with you all. Y adios.